Guys, I did want to weigh in on, once again, on Sprint and T-Mobile, of course. It's been a real feature this week. As our viewers know, of course, on Monday, you had the FCC essentially say, hey, we're going to vote in favor of, the three commissioners and agreeing to one key divestiture, that being Boost, and other agreements involving how quickly they were going to move 5G into rural areas, urban areas, sort of keeping pricing similar. But the focus has been on the Department of Justice, of course. We talked a great deal about that on Monday. And I can share a little more insight here, according to people familiar with the DOJ's activity involving this, and in fact, of course, the thinking of Makin Delrahim, the man who runs the antitrust division, and will make a decision as to whether to challenge the deal. They're talking. T-Mo and Sprint are involved in talks, pretty significant talks, from what I understand, over the last 48 hours about what they can do to meet what continue to be objections from the Department of Justice, not just from its staff, but from Mr. Delrahim as well, in terms of at least concerns about competition in the marketplace should Sprint and T-Mobile be allowed to get together. Those concerns being specific, of course, as you might expect, to pricing and what it's going to mean for the consumer. They haven't made a decision to block the deal. That decision will be made in the next 3 to 4 weeks, at least at this point. There is an expectation the two parties will continue to have discussions. But at this point, it also is clear, at least according to my sources, that the parties have not offered a plan of concessions or that would meet DOJ's objections or at least meet what is their concerns at this point about how the marketplace will remain a competitive one, essentially wanting to replace the lost competition from having 4 go to 3 and T-Mo get together with Sprint.
Okay, so David,
they do not appear to be, at this point, close to a deal. Doesn't mean they won't get there in the next 3 to 4 weeks. You can see Sprint stock not reacting badly to what we're telling you right now. Of course, it had been down over the last few days with various reports on what the DOJ, where they were at, where the staff was at. Not really much new to offer there, except that as well, it doesn't appear that the staff and Mr. Delrahim are in a different place.
All right, so I'm doing some reporting in the last 2 days about the amount of money it takes to do towers,
right?
Cell phone towers. Now, does Mr. Delrahim take into account the fact that the amount of money you have to spend on just on towers is so immense that it could crack the budget? Some of these guys, does he factor that in?
I don't know specifically as whether he's taking their concerns about as separate entities they would be able to spend the amount of money they need to roll out 5G in an effective way.
Relevant? It's so relevant.
It is, but what is also relevant is simply the pricing umbrella for Americans in terms of the most important bill they pay each month. Yeah, and it's notable what happened to AT&T and Verizon stock price on Monday. What did they do?
I know.
They went up a lot.
AT&T, a lot of good stories lately about Randall Stevenson.
And they would not have been going up, some would say, if people thought it was going to become a more competitive market. So we're going to keep a close eye on this. A lot more reporting to do, but we've shared at least what we can with you at this point.